This time I'll call the Budget Committee meeting to order and ask that you please register your presence. You ready?
4 present, 1 absent. We have a quorum.
Okay. I'll now ask that the emergency announcement be read.
Before we get started, let me read the emergency evacuation procedures. In the event of an emergency evacuation, an alarm will sound. Everyone should exit the building by way of the nearest stairwell in a safe and effective manner. If the nearest stairwell is blocked by smoke, use the other stairwell. Do not use the elevator. Once you have reached the main floor, follow the exit signs to exit the building and quickly proceed away from the building. Please be mindful of others evacuating and of emergency vehicles.
I now ask if there's any input on items on the agenda. Seeing none, we'll move on to item D, approval of the minutes. These are the approval of the October 10th minutes. They're in your packet. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Motion from Ms. Hannum, second from Commissioner Lewis. Any discussion? Any questions on the minutes? Seeing none, I'll ask for all those in favor to say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Minutes passed. Financial increases, E1A, Resolution 1711-001, Records Management. This is a $3,500 State Archives grant for the minute book you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Jackie, will you please come up and tell them what that word is? Yeah.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve this.
Okay, have a motion from Commissioner Moon. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Lewis. Any discussion or any questions?
Mr. Chairman, if Jackie would like to come up and let us know about this, it'd be welcomed by the committee, I believe.
Well, it would be nice if she
Jackie
did, but
was
she's
here.
not here, so I don't believe we're going to hear from her tonight.
All right.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion? I'll ask that you register your vote, please.
4 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Thank you. E1B, Resolution 1711-002, Highway, $393,000 to establish the budget for the state and bridge projects. Do I have a motion to forward this to the Agenda Committee? Motion from Commissioner Lewis. Do I have a second? Second from Commissioner Moon. Do we have any, is there any questions or any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, this is to establish a budget. I take it we've already received the grant. Is that correct?
Superintendent, would you come up and explain this, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. State aid bridge. So what the $381,000 in state aid bridge is, for lack of better words, it's a savings account that Blount County gets every year, X amount of dollars to go towards state aid bridge repair. So at this point, we're at the $381,000 for round numbers. So we're going to use that, along with the state says state aid roads, you can take money to help fund bridge projects. So we intentionally have left $262,000 of state aid money from the 3 projects that'll be starting in the spring, which was 260 some thousand. So they say you can take 50% So that's where your 132,000 comes from out of state aid roads. The balance of that, I think it's 11,893, is the surplus trucks that were sold on gov deals. So to fund this bridge, the 525,000, then we used the 11,000 and some change to equate to the 525,000. So, but understand, you can't take state aid bridge money and send it to state aid road. You can only take road money and use 50% of that total on bridge.
Does anyone have any questions?
Mr. Chair, may I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
If we borrow from the road money, if I'm remembering correctly, there was a list of roads that the highway department wanted to work on and had
Yes,
a
ma'am.
plan for that.
Yes, ma'am.
How will that impact what you already plan to do?
Okay, so that we could do this bridge, we identified Davis Ford, Hinkle, and Lost Chapel, which are 3 bad roads that we identified as state aid. So we have all those covered. I have contracts to sign with the state Thursday. That's covered. And then we left 262,000 so that we could go get that half to go fix Springview Bridge.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Randy?
I think the highway superintendent's done a good job in his material that he's supplied. Keep in mind, this is a $525,000 bridge project, and he's outlined the 3 components that are paying for it. So it's 2 allocations from the state, 1 from bridge, and a reallocation of $132,000 from bridge, roads to bridges. And then we're putting basically $11,000 worth of local money into it. And then he has identified, so you all and the public will know what those 3 roads were that you brought up, Ms. Hannah.
Yes.
Any other questions or discussion? Jeff, you were talking one of the bridges, and I know this is one that we've received a lot of complaints on. It's the Springview Bridge?
Yes.
Well, that's,
But not all, we also have the paperwork for Benfield going forward. Can we fund it right now? No. And those are, the mayor had a great point when we were looking at it. If we could get a cheaper price, if you will, to do 2 at once that are close together. But he had a great point that those are cut throughs and at that very end of town, and it wouldn't make sense for the infrastructure to be down 2 bridges on one end of town.
but both of those bridges, and I'm glad to see that we're starting this project, because those people on that end of the county, they've been very patient
Yes.
with 2 bridges that are very scary to go across and very dangerous to go across.
But we were fortunate enough with the paperwork with Springview, they went ahead and included the paperwork when we can afford it. We have Benfield sitting number 2 ready to go when we can afford it.
Any other questions? Any discussion? Thank you, Superintendent. I'll now ask that you register your vote, please.
Four yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Thank you. Item E1C, Resolution 1711-006 for the library, $40,000. These are contributions from the Foundation for IT Modernization. Do I have a motion to go ahead and forward this on to the Agenda Committee?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Motion by Ms. Hannum, second by Commissioner Moon. Any questions or discussion? Would you like for KC to come up and explain this to anyone? Anyone have any questions? Sharon?
I don't have any questions, but I would like for Ms. Williams and our Assistant Director to come up so that she might be introduced to the body.
If you would, please come up.
I am very happy to introduce our new Deputy Director in charge of Financial Services, Janae Bruland. You want to tell them a little bit about yourself?
Oh, okay. Hi, it's nice to be here this evening. As you heard, my name is Anjanae Brulin, and I am the Deputy Director at the Blount County Public Library. I have been in the library world for about 7 years, and Casey and I go way back. I have been impressed and inspired by the leadership that I have been introduced to here in Blount County, and I look forward to working with you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Hey, Casey, can I ask one question on this, the AV modernization, the IT modernization? Is AV working with you on this to where it kind of, we're still, everything's kind of working together with the courthouse and the Justice Center and everything?
And that's what this is.
Okay.
You know, back when we did the business plan in 2015, the foundation voted to fund $40,000 for a new phone system. And so when we started talking to county IT, that became to light that, you know, we were going to be doing new phones all over the whole county. So we waited. And so this is just us finally, we've purchased, and the foundation is going to reimburse us the $40,000.
Okay, thank you. Now I ask if you would please register your vote.
4 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Item E1D, Resolution 17-11-003, Blount County Sheriff's Office, $1,500 donation for employee recognition. Do I have a motion to send this on to the Agenda Committee? Commissioner Lewis.
Second.
Ms. Hannum. Are there any questions or discussion on this? Seeing none, I'll ask you for you to register your vote, please.
Four yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Next item is budget increases, Z1E. Please keep in mind that this item is related to item F1, which is the interlocal agreement related to this budget increase. If we do not approve this budget increase, we will not take action on F1. So E1E Resolution 17-11-004 on the Blount County Sheriff's Office, $77,715. This is for an interlocal agreement with the City of Louisville for 2 full-time officers. Do I hear a motion to send this on to the Agenda Committee?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Moon, second by Ms. Hannum. Do I have any questions or any discussion on this? Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I move we just defer the discussion until we vote on F1.
Okay. With that being said, I'll ask for you to register your vote, please.
4 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Okay, item F1, Resolution 17-11-005. This is the interlocal agreement between Blount County Sheriff's Office and the City of Louisville. Do I have a motion to send this on to the Agenda Committee before I ask them, Chief Millsaps or the Sheriff to come up and give us an explanation?
So moved.
Have a motion from Ms. Hannum. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Lewis, seconds. If you all would, please come up and
Good evening. This is something we've been working on for quite a while with the City of Louisville. They have asked for an enhancement to law enforcement services. And with that proposal, they want to pay for 2 deputies, and both of them be emergency medical technicians also, and they're going to pay for that supplement. They're also going to pay for the equipment that goes along with that specialty that the deputies will be able to perform. My opinion is a win-win for Blount County. We're already servicing that area. It's we're the primary responders. They've asked for 2 more deputies. That's going to be for Louisville, with the understanding if the emergency happens or whatever, they will come out of the City of Louisville and their deputy sheriffs in Steel Harbor and will assist us. Years ago, we had a contract with the town of Friendsville. It worked very, very well for a number of years, and this is, I guess, where Louisville had picked up on that, and I think it's a win for the Blount County government. I know it's a win for the sheriff's office, and I know it's a win for the town of Louisville.
Does anyone have any discussion or any questions?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir, Commissioner.
We voted on a grant a couple of months ago, maybe last month, the COPS grant.
Yes, sir.
Will that help defray some of the expense of this early on?
That would be sub-planning if we, if we do that with Louisville, we have the contract, and it's not official yet, the mayor hasn't signed it, but if we sign them to the Louisville, that'd be kind of sub-planning.
Okay.
So to answer your question, I doubt if we could.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Any other questions or discussions? Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. With that being said, I'll ask for you to register your vote, please.
4 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Item F2, Recovery Court Veterans Treatment Court Grant. This information is in the packet for information, but I would like to ask Amy to come forward and give us an update on this grant opportunity, please.
Good evening. We've been talking about Veterans Treatment Court now for a minute, a couple of years. The state, actually, this is a grant that the state applied to the federal grant, to the federal government for a grant, and the grant was given to the state. We are a subrecipient on the grant that the state has given to us. So we actually did not apply for this grant. The state applied for it on behalf of us. There were 5 other counties that are receiving funding from the federal grant through the state, and we're the only one that's an implementation court. So we're pretty excited. In May, we went through the pre-training with the Vets for Justice for Vets, and all of our teams showed up. Jerome was there for the first day of it, and we're real excited about this opportunity to be able to expand our court a little bit, to open it up to a veterans track. As of right now, there is no match required from the county on this grant. We have it for the 34 months as outlined in that. We will have more information to bring to this committee once we get the actual grants that have been cut from the state. They're going to pretty much look exactly like what you have. Where we're trying to manage is this is to hire 2 positions, and it is expected that if we get this court up and running and it runs at the level that we expect it to run and that you expect us to have it running, that the county will at some point contribute to help us continue the program, much like the program that we have now. So we want to get the best qualified individuals in to work in these 2 positions that we have. The program manager and the treatment specialist, until we bid these jobs, we don't know what kind of benefits the individuals that take the jobs are going to need. So that's kind of where we're in a stall pattern of not knowing exactly where we're going to be at financially, because we have to make sure that we price the jobs at a rate that people that are substantial and are good at what they're doing will want the jobs, but at the same time, we don't know what their benefits needs will be. It may be that there's people that take these jobs that we feel are qualified that maybe don't need benefits, so we're not in a place where we're looking at that. But where we're at right now and what we're looking at is that with the 2 positions we're wanting to hire, we're good for the first year, unless we have somebody that applies for the job that we end up wanting to hire that is going to require full benefits, because our positions have to match those that we have with Kronos, with the county. It is a grant, and Randy, correct me if I say this wrong, where we will pay the salary, we'll invoice the state, and then the money will be reimbursed us, yes. So we're excited about the opportunity. If you have any questions, I will do my very best to answer any that you have.
Yes, Ms. Hannah.
I have two questions, Amy.
Yes, ma'am.
One being, as it relates to the positions that you're looking to fill.
Yes.
Employees you're looking to fill, would those be case managers such as you have currently, or would it be a combination of case management and counseling?
We are actually at this point going to hire what is called a program, I think, coordinator. I never knew how important the title name of a job was going to be, but a program manager is what we're looking to hire for one of those positions. That will be someone who will work directly under me. I will still maintain all the paperwork and the management, but this will be the person that will actually oversee the day-to-day operations of making sure that policies are upheld and all that is in working order. Then there will be a treatment assistant is what we are looking to hire initially. That person will be in charge of assessments and making sure that the treatment needs of all the veterans that come into this court are met. One thing to note that is a difference in the treatment court for the veterans than the treatment court that we have is this is a partnership with our VA. So all of those individuals that come into this program that are eligible for VA benefits, a lot of their actual treatment will be handled through the Veterans Affairs Office. And so it's a little bit different. It's also different in the fact that where with the recovery court, we handle individuals that have an underlying substance abuse disorder. For veterans, we will be dealing with individuals. They can come into our court with either a substance abuse disorder or a mental health disorder or a combination of the both. So they don't necessarily have to have a substance abuse order. If it is just mental health issues, they are still eligible for this court. So there are a lot of different factors for a veterans treatment court, which requires a little bit extra management, which is why we are doing a program manager and a treatment assistant initially. To start the program, to implement it, those are the two most important positions that we need, because we have the Veterans Affairs Office already on board with a veterans liaison working with our team.
Is that the same veterans liaison that I see in the jail?
Tori, yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I have a list of the individuals that have already agreed to serve as volunteers on our treatment court. And you know, we've got partnerships with probation, with the justice system, and the Veterans Affairs Office all.
And this, I'm going beyond my two questions, is that okay?
That's fine.
With this being veterans, and veterans have a larger responsibility, I'm thinking in light of PTSD and in light of the recent shootings in Texas, is there a different liability for the county as it relates to this particular program than with the current program?
I think, I don't really know how to answer that necessarily, but when you start dealing with the veteran population, I think you automatically deal with a lot of different issues, because there's a lot of different types of trauma that they have been in contact with. But another facet of the Veterans Court that makes it very unique is we have a mentors program, a veteran mentors program, where we actually work with veterans as mentors. You know, where with the recovery court we have AA and we have sponsors, and those are still things that we would encourage. But with veterans, we also deal with mentors. We have individuals who are veterans themselves, who are, you know, living life and dealing with their issues, that will come in and go through a mentorship training and work directly one-on-one with our participants in the Veterans Treatment Court. And the mentoring program is kind of that component that sets this Veterans Treatment Court apart from all the others, is because it is a very different dynamic. We deal with the culture of veterans a lot more differently than we would just a regular treatment court. Even their court proceedings will be different, so.
Okay. And my last question is, how many veterans do you think would be impacted in the first phase of the implementation of the grant?
It is, for the grant, we have to, within the first year, service at least 15 veterans in the first year of the implementation grant. And then with each year, there is a number that is required in addition to the initial 15 for the first year. So I think that within the end of the grant, they expect you to have at least served, I think, 35, which is a very sustainable number based on what we've been able to identify within our correctional facility.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
One quick note, the administrative part you're speaking about, the program manager, the assessment part of this is so key. Every veteran's not going to qualify. Only those that have a high probability of being saved by this program. That sounds kind of hard, but it depends upon how the assessment takes place. Some of these issues were there before they ever entered the service. So just, you may hear constituents may call and say, I don't understand. My cousin's over there and he's a veteran, and why aren't they helping him? Now, we can't get into all the details, but the assessment is very strong, and there will be veterans that will not be taken into the program. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I think it's also notable that, and Commissioner, you're probably as aware of this as I am, that in this county, we have 11,000 plus veterans. I mean, probably closer to 12,000 veterans that are citizens that live in Blount County. So that's a pretty high number, really. You know, so that's. But I look forward to this program. I know that there's been a lot of work put into this, and you've worked very close with the judicial system and the judges, and with what's some of the programs that have been implemented in other cities and counties, and I'm looking forward to seeing some great outcomes on this, and I appreciate. I know we've been talking about this for a couple of years,
Yeah.
but as with everything else in government, it moves very slow.
It does.
So, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Amy. Item G is the financial reports. This is for information only. There's nothing else on the agenda. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Move to adjourn. Thank you.